So is this the new Donald Trump? Joining us right now, former Massachusetts Senator and Donald Trump supporter, Scott Brown. Senator Brown, good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
It feels like this most recent flub maybe had impact. Is he changing his tune, using a teleprompter, saying that he's going to make everybody proud? What do you think?
Well, he's used a teleprompter before, and I think moving forward you'll see a combination approach of teleprompter and then going off the cuff like he does. You know, we're moving into a different phase, as you've been speaking about all morning, where we really have to zero in, and I anticipate him putting out policy speeches, really drawing those distinctions between Hillary Clinton and obviously himself.
Guys, what do you think he needs to do? What about policy does he need to get into and really be more specific in order for this to resonate?
Well, I think he needs to focus on the economy. I mean, you look at the latest Pew Research about the shrinking middle class. Manufacturing nationwide is down 29%. People are hurting. There are large majorities of individuals in this country who feel left behind by the current economy. That's his wheelhouse. As a business guy, this is what he should be talking about. He should be reaching out to each of those disaffected voters. You've got a lot of, minority unemployment is extremely high, reaching out to people who feel left behind.
And to be more specific, too, like when he released that list of the Supreme Court justice nominees, people were like, oh, this is a specific thing. And I know a lot of people that weren't supporting and looked at that, and they felt better.
Yeah.
So
be more specific.
Yeah.
And Scott Brown, good to see you. In terms of going after Hillary Clinton, I think that he needs to hit her hard and often. He has actually a speech coming up next week potentially where he's kind of frame her candidacy, because he needs to remind the American people that this is a Democratic nominee who's under investigation by the FBI.
Right. Well, I think it's wonderful that we have a woman who's going to be leading the major party first time in our country's history. I also think it's unfortunate that it's Hillary Clinton, because she is a deeply flawed candidate. And I think Bernie Sanders needs to be more transparent and say, listen, the reason I'm staying in is because she may be indicted, and I'm not going to step out and let Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren or someone come in to a position that I've earned. So that's why he's staying in. So he needs to be more transparent. With regard to the distinction between Clinton and Trump, absolutely. You talked about the economy. It is in his wheelhouse. Foreign policy, she owns the failed policy of the Obama administration. You can go on and on and on, and he's going to start to draw those distinctions. And I think it's going to be really close, and I ultimately think that he wins.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of women, I'm wondering, because I'm hearing whispers here and there, what about a Condoleezza Rice as a vice presidential pick? Has her name come up in terms of conversations, Scott, in terms of his running mate?
Well, certainly she would be a wonderful candidate, but she's making a tremendous amount of money and doing some incredibly fun things. So it's really up to her at this point. I'm sure if she would be in the consideration. There are some great candidates. You got Jeff Sessions, obviously.
Yeah.
You have Senator Thune, Corker. You could go on and on. There's some wonderful, wonderful candidates, and it's going to be white hot over the next 5 months. So hold on to your hat and your chair.
Yeah. all ladies on the panel this morning. Does that come into play for any of you?
No.
No. You don't care if it's a woman or a man. You don't care that it's a woman for the first time in terms of representation.
I'm offended that Hillary and a lot of her supporters would assume that I would. She's a horrible candidate. She's a horrible candidate.
Well, also, what's equal about hanging your hat solely on the fact that you're a woman? You would see no male candidate go out and say, you should vote for me because I'm a man. That's not equality. Equality is being the best candidate, presenting your path, presenting what you would do for this country, and then being elected based on the merits of what you bring forward.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are trying to go after those all-important Bernie Sanders supporters. What kind of message, Senator, do they need to put out there to actually resonate with the Bernie Sanders supporters once he steps down, which could be in the next 2 weeks?
I think Hillary has a more difficult time, because those Bernie millennials are definitely not voting for her. They're either going to stay home or they're going to come to Trump, who said that the system is rigged. We know it's rigged because of the superdelegates. They said they were going to fix it last time. They didn't. Now she's going to pledge that they're going to fix it now. And President Obama, by the way, can't wait to get out there. And if he endorses her, which I believe he will, it gives her a cover and says to the Justice Department, wink, wink, nod, nod, and the FBI, hey, by the way, I got it. She's good. good, so don't indict her. So there's a whole bunch of political machinations going on right now. I think Trump has a better opportunity to grab those millennials, and he also has to start working on the conservative part of our party as well, to let them know that they have a place, and he does have those conservative credentials. The release of the Supreme Court was a good start, and he needs to give some good policy speeches talking about the things that got him there.
Yeah.
And I think that's critically important as well.
Talk to the 120 million voters coming out in November who did not vote for Donald Trump during the primary season. It could be even more than that.
Wow.
That's who he's got to think about, not just the people in the room with
Absolutely.
him, but the entire voting population in the U.S.
And do you think those people are swayed by a President Obama endorsement? I mean, it feels like that's where this is going. He's having a meeting with Bernie Sanders on Thursday. Maybe that's the day he endorses, or he has the meeting and then he endorses.
It's a toss-up. The Democrats love to talk about President Obama's approval rating right now, which is 50% or a little bit higher, depending on the poll that you look at. But I think if you look at that economy and the job number we got last week, if he endorses her, she essentially starts wearing a T-shirt that says, he broke it and now I own it, in terms of the economy. Yeah. She takes responsibility. If she's running on his term, then she's saying, what am I going to do to make this economy better? And it's a big question mark.
Well, and I heard someone make this point the other day, so I can't take credit for it, but they're making the point that, President Obama's approval ratings are pretty high right now because he's been out of the public arena for a while, because what has been drawing attention has been the presidential race. It's been Donald Trump. It's been Hillary Clinton. And so once he re-enters and it becomes a referendum on his policies, which Hillary Clinton wants to continue, we could see those numbers dip.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. He gets out of the public eye and the approval rating goes up.
Right. Imagine how that works.
It's weird.
This victory tour around the world was well orchestrated and planned very far in advance.
Yeah.
So maybe it's worked out so far.
I guess so. Senator, good to see you, sir. We'll see you back on set soon.
Great to see you all.
Scott Brown
Absolutely.
there.
Thank you.
Still